Welcome to Business Talk on Business Tech with me, Michael Avery, South Africa's premier business news website. And I think the one thing that we can all agree on during this pandemic is that it's rapidly accelerated our embrace of online shopping. Even my mom, who hadn't bought anything online through the pandemic, started doing her grocery shopping online, and that's saying something. And we've seen the value of e-commerce transactions reckoned to balloon out 150% to 225 billion rand by 2025. So a rapidly growing market. And to talk about this shift, it's a great pleasure to speak to Sylvester John, who's head of e-commerce at Massmart. And Sylvester, welcome. You arrived in the country earlier this year from Walmart in the US to really spearhead Massmart's initiatives in both business to business and business to consumer sales in this market. And I'm very interested to hear what your thoughts are, what your expectations were of e-commerce in a country like South Africa, having arrived from this global giant in the US.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Appreciate you having me on the show. A pleasure to be here. Yeah, this is actually my third time in Africa and South Africa as well. And so I've got a bit of context coming in. I spent about 3 months ahead of getting here, reading, talking, and studying the market quite a bit. And the e-commerce maturity curve is a big issue as you think about the stage and adoption lifecycle. The Walmart in the US and even the overall US e-com space also had to go through its journey. So it's kind of similar to where we were in about 8 to 10 years ago in the US is where I would say we are now. I see lots of opportunity as there's much upside potential as we look at all of this, particularly as we think about how we serve customers in terms of convenience, in terms of time saving, and the number of options that customers get to have. So as I've said before, I believe the e-com penetration will move from where it is today at about 3 to 4%, and we'll get up to about 11 to 12% by 2030. So there's a huge amount of upside as we look forward.
So I was going to ask you how far behind you reckon we are on a global scale, 8 to 10 years. That seems like quite a lot. What are the major differences, or perhaps even looking at it differently, what are the similarities that you see when you compare to the likes of the US?
In many ways, COVID has helped accelerate the adoption curve. I believe when you think of mobile adoption, it's happening actually faster here, not just in terms of apps, but even more so with mobile web. It's 2/3 of folks here in South Africa have smartphone, and the social engagement in terms of social media is pretty high. Though obviously the data remains a bit high in terms of cost, and I think that will come down with time. The evolving customer needs and the circumstances are not much different. If you think about people working from home, they're strapped for time, they're juggling many life factors, they're seeking value and confidence in the best price. You see similar customer excitement and adoption. When you think of offerings like, grocery delivery in 2 hours, we'll see something similar when we think about how people are going to adopt the super apps that offer value. So even though, I believe that, where we were 8 to 10 years ago in the US as it relates to the curve, I believe we're probably about 5 to 6 years right now in terms of catching up to what I would consider to be a core e-commerce maturity index. And the current state of where things are and the rate at which things are moving, we'll probably get caught up in about 5 to 6 years in the core maturity.
That's very exciting because we often hear about Africa being able to leapfrog when it comes to technology-enabled development. And here's a prime example where we are seeing that come through quite clearly. Now, you've obviously got, shall we say, quite a solid business in Walmart as a leaning post, if you like. How heavy is that lean?
As all of the markets within the Walmart International family, we at Massmart, we share and we leverage with others in many, many fronts, not just in e-commerce, by the way. But on the e-commerce front, there are many unique insights we have at Massmart that other markets also benefit from. Like our approach to home improvement, retail, our B2B experiences, our journey with Vodapay and the development of mini programs within the super app, and so much more we're sharing. But in the same token, we also most definitely leverage from Walmart experiences, not just the US, but also China and Canada and Latin America. For example, we're establishing a large dedicated tech team for Massmart e-commerce in Bangalore, India, by leveraging Walmart's global tech hub, which is the most preeminent tech hub in India today. In addition to the best practice sharings we have, we also are able to leverage capabilities and technology from other markets, like the e-commerce leader in India Flipkart that many of you may be aware of. We've also just secured commitment from Walmart US to transfer one of their top product technology leaders from Silicon Valley to lead our new e-commerce product management and tech division. All that said, we only lean in areas where we absolutely feel like we have a gap or there's an opportunity. In most areas, however, we're building capabilities and driving our agenda locally. I'm incredibly proud of the talented local team we have across so many different functions within our group. Particularly many of the new folks as well that we're bringing in from the outside, and we've been doing so in the last few weeks and months.
That said, it is fantastic to be able to merge that local talent with the best of breed internationally that you've referenced out of India and elsewhere. And that really, in this technology-driven world, is the beauty of technology. It lowers those barriers and you can bring those skills to operate in different markets. And obviously, online retail really accelerating in South Africa during COVID must be an exciting prospect. What has the process been like for you? I mean, I'd imagine the boardroom discussions, you sitting around the boardroom table, there's the talk of COVID accelerating this, it energizes you around this potential for growth. Also challenging, given the expectations around timescales. And as you've just said, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure to now realize all of this potential.
Yeah, in some ways, we are fortunate in Massmart in that we had already made foundational investments in our e-commerce journey pre-COVID. As a result, we were in a relatively good place to build on things and accelerate enablement during the COVID peaks. What COVID has allowed, though, is a faster adoption of e-commerce by customers and a greater realization across the board about what is possible in this space. This heightened e-commerce appreciation is also now more elevated with even the investor and analyst community. So that is also very positive. Like most companies, this new environment and our 2020 experience has challenged us as a company to reimagine the future of our business in a manner where e-commerce is not just an important extension of our brands, but rather an integral part of our business model into the future. As such, you are seeing us move at incredible pace. We've structured our business vertically, where now we've brought all the groups together, the banners together, and we think about how we operate websites as a vertical. We're thinking about how we operate mobile as a vertical and delivery as a vertical. And we're leveraging across the group now in a way where we're running the e-com business vertically. We've integrated technology as an extension of the e-com org, no longer as part of IT. And so it's now the way we work and how we think about e-com is all tied and intertwined with technology. And we're expanding our team with more talent. We've made good progress towards enhancing our websites and we're evolving towards a mobile-first approach. We're strengthening our fulfillment operations and our capabilities. We're making significant investments that we believe will pay off, including the acquisitions of on-demand platform OneCart and the last mile delivery operation acquisition we also made earlier in the year of OneDrop.
I think those are all the components and building blocks of, as you say, bringing digital into the center. And it's so interesting to hear businesses now talking about digital as the strategy. They used to kind of live in separate silos inside the organization. So you'd have a data science team that you put over their way, a digital transformation team. Now, digital is the strategy. You mentioned something about hiring. Does that mean we're going to see more hiring from Massmart to boost digital skills within the company?
Yeah. In fact, we've been on a hiring spree in the last few weeks and months. So this is actually something we've been working on, and we're bringing and expanding across the board talents to fill multiple areas that we're trying to grow. When we think about product management, we think about UX research, we think about product analytics, operations and fulfillment, digital sales. So there's a number of areas we're growing, and we've been on this journey, and we anticipate we'll probably bring in over 100 people here in the next few weeks and months.
Well, that's very exciting in a country where we know we have this huge unemployment crisis and problem. And I've often likened it more to a skills crisis. If we had the right skills in this country, I think we could certainly create a far more job-rich recovery and rebound as we look to rebuild from COVID. But I don't want to diverge too much. I'm sure, looking at what your competitors are doing in the retail space, I mentioned my mom using an app. It's Checkers 6060. She, it's revolutionized her life. Woolworths have got an app at the moment. They're all moving at pace. Do you keep a watchful eye on your competitors and your other companies, or would you say, right, we're in our lane, this is what we do?
Well, given the relatively early stage of e-commerce in the country, the number of key players in the sector are few. And so no doubt, I'm sure we're all paying very close attention to each other. Ultimately, we all have a role to play in helping improve and develop the sector for the benefit of customers. Indeed, there is an area and this is an area I think where what they say, all rising tides, lifts all boats. So I am so excited to see the accelerated pace at which many players in the market are leaning and investing, thereby improving the quality of the market offerings. This is important, I think, to help customers experience the value of e-commerce and ultimately improve the overall market adoption, which benefits everyone. While we at Massmart do have a compelling food offering for customers, we have a very strong leading position in general merchandise and home improvement. That said, we are also excited about the opportunities ahead for the continued accelerated growth and the market innovation that's coming from our new portfolio company, OneCart, which is strong in the online grocery space as well.
And that also speaks to the super app that you referenced earlier. Your brands, I think, very well known: Builders, Macro, Game. We've seen DIY doing particularly well as we're doing everything from home. So that crack in the wall, all of a sudden you want to fix that, or you want to expand your office at home. And so all of this really coalesces around this mobile shopping mini app in effect that you've built in partnership with Vodacom's new Vodapay. Can you just talk about what this means for the group's e-commerce ambitions and how this kind of collaboration is going to work?
Yeah, we are excited about what a true super app offers for South African customers in terms of convenience. You've got this zero rated data opportunity where you don't pay data for Vodacom customers that are on the app. We've got this opportunity to have a single app download, and you can free up space in your phone to be able to handle multiple needs you may have that multiple apps would have had to handle. And obviously we've got incredible deals that are in the ecosystem. So I think the whole ecosystem is an incredible opportunity. And as South African consumers start to get a handle that, I think this is going to be an exciting value proposition. We've had only websites as the singular channel for our three banners. And so Vodapay represents our entry into mobile apps for Macro and Builders, and then ultimately Game in the Q2 of next year. We made the decision to develop native apps within Vodapay. This is quite important because a lot of folks in super apps tend to build wraparound of their websites and much more light applications that are of lesser development investments. But what we've done is build something pretty substantial here, and we've removed quite a bit of friction and added a lot of new features into this capability. We've reduced our steps from 5 to 3 with our instant buy that allows customers to get in and out and reduce those friction points. We've got more compelling opportunities and experience with more for less deals that gives you an opportunity to shop that experience in a way that you can't on the website. We've also introduced mission journeys in Builders. So as you go and think about your DIY mission, how do we provide you a full solution in a way that makes the shopping experience much easier? We've launched something in the range of 450 compelling value Vodapay only deals. And in November, we'll also extend that into our Black Friday deals into the Vodapay app as well. So we believe this extension of our brands into the Vodapay ecosystem offers us the opportunity to be the cornerstone of commerce in what we believe will become a significant ecosystem with time. While this Vodapay strategic partnership is a key means for us to extend our brand to serve customers via mobile, it's not our only plan for mobile. We've also got more coming, and obviously with time, we'll share more about some other things we're working on.
Yeah, but I think in those early build-up phases to collaborate certainly makes a lot of business sense. And great to hear you're working on the UX, because I've often found in the local market, certainly if you compare to purchasing from an international platform, the number of clicks is far higher. Someone's not really thinking about the pain points in the user experience. So really pleased to hear that you placed that at the center of what you're doing as well. Now, what do you see coming next for the ecosystem?
Yeah, well, speaking of the Vodapay super app specifically, the first for us is the iterative manner in which the Macro and Builders apps will quickly evolve as we gain customer insights the next few weeks and months. So we developed a new way of working we call four in the box that allows us to be able to have engineering, business, and product management and UX all at the table together, working as a management team, if we will, on behalf of this customer and with a real focus in this particular area. And we're beginning to iterate and build on, and we believe this app will transform quite substantially in the weeks and months ahead. In November, as I said, we'll extend our Black Friday deals into the apps as well. So we anticipate this is going to be an exciting space to stay in this ecosystem of Vodapay. In Q2 of next year, we plan to launch our third app for game as well in the same space. And on a continuous basis, next year and beyond, you'll see us introduce new features, new capabilities, extended range, and a lot more promotional deals in the apps throughout the year, and create this ecosystem as an exciting space. And again, focusing on us being the cornerstone of commerce in this particular Vodapay world.
And that is the beauty of digital, because it's so data rich. You can really measure all parts of the customer journey and then start iterating and adding value based on the data that you're collecting over time. So exciting to hear that as well. And in addition to your growing e-commerce logistics business, you've also got plans to improve your click and collect services. Can you just elaborate on how you see that fitting in?
Yes, customers seek fulfillment choices, these choices that caters to various life circumstances at different points in their life. Sometimes they need to shop the store themselves and get the ultimate immediacy. And sometimes we forget that the ultimate immediacy is actually going in the store and getting it off the shelf and walking out. But other times they need us to shop it for them and hold it for them so they can collect it when it suits them because their schedule might be busy. And at other times, again, they want it delivered to them. We plan to further strengthen our capabilities in all these dimensions, be it customer pickup from store or from locker, or be it delivery from store or from distribution center. To further reinforce our delivery capabilities, we've acquired the last mile delivery operation OneDrop, and we're also introducing a new delivery orchestration technology from India called Vodapay to help augment our ability to serve and actually to improve customer experience in this space. Regarding our pickup proposition specifically, we believe this can be an even more compelling space for customers. And so we are investing an end-to-end review in order to reposition this offer and make it much better for customers. This includes everything from clarity and location within the store, simplifying the process and removing friction, measuring wait time even more intentionally and getting customers in and out in a few minutes, better equipping the store associates to improve execution in this area, and so much more. Ultimately, pickup as a proposition can often be more compelling than delivery. However, it must be clear to the customer, and the experience has to be quick, easy, and seamless, even if this is within a big box store like Macro.
My problem, Sylvester, with delivery has always been that, and it's something we haven't got right in this country yet, you can choose a particular day, and sometimes it doesn't even arrive on that day. But even if it is arriving on that day, you don't know what time. And sometimes you might not be at home the entire day. You might not have someone at home to collect the delivery when it arrives, not to go and collect in store. And so it becomes a very difficult process where I've got to sit and wait for it. So to rather be able to plan your own schedule and go and collect, I think certainly in the South African context has a very important part to play. Now, you also mentioned your controlling stake that you've obviously been on a huge acquisitive spree in OneCart. Can you just talk us through how the OneCart partnership is now going to plug into this overall jigsaw puzzle that you're building?
Yeah, we're excited about the OneCart proposition. OneCart is an intermediary that offers incredible value by enabling retailers to have an online channel that continues to attract growth for them. But it also has this ability to also attract increasing number of customers. So it's this two sides to serving the retailers as well as ensuring that we serve customers who are looking for platforms to be able to meet their needs. For these customers, the platform offers great convenience in that they can access many of their favorite retail and their consumer brands from navigating a best-in-class user experience while also getting products delivered within a few hours. So we're committed to enabling and empowering OneCart to grow and even better serve the retail sector, ensuring that it is as is adding as much meaningful value to its retail clients' growth agenda as possible, while even more importantly, growing its customer base by offering them the best possible experience. So we see OneCart as an important growth engine for our e-com portfolio, and we see value in its potential to enable many more independent retailers seeking digital solutions to reach their customers and reach new channels themselves, including many of those, by the way, who are B2B clients that are served by Macro's wholesale food and liquor business. And so we really want to, in many ways, Michael, have OneCart powered to unlock the full potential of the retail sector and enable as much retail online as possible. And to the degree that also serves macro and game, that's great. But it's beyond macro and game. It's how does this unlock and support the growth of retail overall, to the benefit of the broader growth agenda and adoption agenda.
I think there's a massive opportunity there, just hearing you say that B2B market in the kind of wholesale spaza shop township economy. If you're offering a direct to spaza shop type service, then it really does start to unlock a lot of exponential value, actually. I know you're obviously going to say you're bullish about your expectations for e-commerce over the medium term. But what are your expectations? Because I think a lot of people have been really encouraged by the way we've accelerated thanks to COVID, but might question whether or not this can be sustained. Will we just go back to our old habits, once we're all vaccinated and COVID has hopefully become endemic and not the pandemic that it is? What are your expectations?
Yeah, well, we believe the growth curve is much steeper now. Obviously, the COVID experience has helped. But if you think about it, 2020 is behind us. We're now way past it. And so we've been through different waves and different levels of lockdown. And we're still here. We're still seeing momentum in e-com. So in many ways, the concerns about, will people completely switch back? We already are in this world where we're in level 1. And so we're still seeing good momentum and we're still seeing good encouragement. And all the data points that we've seen suggest that customers have learned the value of convenience. So at some point it was about safety, and the safety still remains a concern, obviously, but people have discovered a lot more in the process of pursuing safety, and that discovery, I believe, has uncovered a lot of opportunity. So we expect this penetration trend shifting from the 3 to 4% towards the 11 to 12% between now and the next in 2030, and so that will continue. As this overall market adoption increases, we will see more players and even greater competition in this space. This, in my opinion, is ultimately good for the e-commerce sector and for the customer experience, since the bar will continue to rise as customer expectations will rise as well. So we are confident in our strategic plans and our efforts that are underway to continue being in the forefront of helping drive this agenda. That said, our role is to build the capabilities that allow us to effectively serve customers when, where, and how they want to be served. So we will believe that in the future and in the long-term viability of the physical stores, as much as we are excited about the e-com growth, the physical stores are not going anywhere. In fact, we believe this will remain the most dominant form of shopping for the foreseeable future. So we will continue to have a strong competitive advantage in this regard, given our strength in our physical stores. However, we do recognize the important growth and the expansion trend that's happening online. And so we plan to be there as well to serve customers' evolving needs.
That's great news if you're a startup developing solutions in the space. Great news if you're a consumer, because to your earlier point, it is about greater convenience, reducing those costs and reducing the pain points as well. I must agree with you. I don't think the brick and mortar is going anywhere. In fact, we've seen it the other way around with so many stores, and I think of Yappy Chef, for example, launching online and then going from clicks to bricks, realizing that it needed a physical presence because people still like to go and touch and feel what they're going to be buying at the end of the day as well. Sylvester John, Head of E-commerce at Massmart, thanks so much for your insights into e-commerce here on Business Talk.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate the time.